I'm Scott.
I'm Russell.
And I'm Leo. This is Spitball. Welcome to Spitball, the pitchin' kitchen, where three bug hunters, that's us, and a guest empty their heads of startup and tech product ideas that we have stuck up in there so you can all have them for free. Anything that we say is yours to keep. Russell, I believe you brought our guest this week. Who do you have with us?
I have the amazing, incredible Alex, the wannabe writer, the awesome storyteller, musician, creative, waiting for her first book to come out because I know it's going to be great. And I'm trying to subtly encourage her to release a book.
I was going to say, wannabe writer sounds kind of passive aggressive or just aggressive.
Do you subtly encourage everyone to write books?
She also does an amazing book review. You should follow her on YouTube. Alex, you can do your plug later.
No.
Alex, welcome to Spitball. We're so glad to have you.
Thank you for that lovely intro, Russell.
Anytime, Alex.
This week, we are going to be playing a quick little game here that we're calling CESBS. Do you guys know what CES is? The Consumer Electronics Show?
Oh, yeah, in Vegas.
Exactly. Every January, the first week of the year, there is a show that is a big electronics fair, and all the TV manufacturers and wannabe big name in startup industry all try to show off their wares. It's sort of waned in popularity in the last few years, but I feel like the last year, at least this year's, was quite good again. And over the years, there's been a lot of really weird stuff that's come out. And so today, I'm just going to read you a headline from some CES between 2013 and now. I can give you the year if you think that that's helpful as a hint. And this is going to be a headline from an actual, time.com, abc.com, The Verge, etc., digital trends. And I'll read the headline and you tell me if you think yes or no, is this a real thing that actually happened or was it fake? All right. Started off, of course, as we always do with our guest, Alex. Kohler's smart toilet promises, quote, a fully immersive experience. This is an intelligent toilet with built-in surround sound speakers, ambient mood lighting, and Amazon Alexa voice controls. Was this a real thing that happened or something that I made up?
I unfortunately think that's probably a real thing.
That's exactly right. It was 2019. Kohler had a whole situation going on at their booth. I guess if you make toilets, like what else do you do, right? But yeah, that was a Verge article.
Guys, I have been on that toilet.
Have you really? Why?
Was it an
Seriously?
immersive experience?
Was it all?
It was a little overwhelming.
How
It's
so?
like you come for a very, simple task and you leave and you're like, did I hit all the features? Like maybe I could have done the fan blower at the normal speed, or should I gone higher? Like there's literally fan speed. I don't know. Go to the Kohler.
My back was massaged. It did my taxes. It was
I was only in there for
incredible.
40 minutes. I don't know if I had enough time.
Full body experience.
Scott,
Mm-hmm.
brush your luscious locks with this smart hairbrush that knows more about your hair than you do.
I'm going to say that one's fake.
It's a real article from 2017.
You serious?
Digitaltrends.com. Yeah, Withings and others.
What metrics is it possibly giving you?
I think it's like hair thickness and all kinds of stats. It's not just how many times you had to brush it, but it like measures and analyzes your hair, I guess. I don't know.
Probably gives you a curl pattern.
Right, I guess. This is why we need more females on the show. Yeah, curl pattern for sure. That's exactly what that must do. Russell,
Thank you. Yeah.
This smart belt will automatically loosen when you eat too much.
No. That can't be real, but it just somebody's thought of this.
Final answer?
It's not real. Not real.
Time.com 2015, real thing.
amazing.
Yeah, you don't have to start eating healthy because of this automatically loosening belt. Sure enough. All right, one more trip through. Alex, fork that vibrates when you eat too fast is ready to feed you.
Oh my God.
I'm going to say that's not real.
It was called the Happy Fork. It was legit in 2013. It's a fork with a small computer inside. It recorded your eating pattern and it vibrated when you ate too fast. I don't know if it ever came out. This isn't necessarily whether the product made it to market. This is just somebody had a dream at CES. I believe that means it's still 1-0-0 with Alex in the lead. Scott, hands-on demo with Charmin's new toilet paper robot and fart smell sensor at CES. The Charmin booth.
What do you do with a fart smell sensor? I'm just gonna say it's real.
It was real. 2020.
Yes.
GeekWire had that article. The Rollbot was the Bluetooth-enabled robot that helped deliver fresh rolls of toilet paper when you unexpectedly run out. And the Smell Sense combined a fart sensor with an LED display, and it alerted you whether or not a bathroom is safe to enter.
Wait, I'm sorry. It gives you toilet paper when you run out? Is it like a drone that flies in the
I think
TP
that was the
roll?
demo, yeah. Maybe for offices
Amazing.
or something. I don't know. Lastly, Russell, the Sensor Wake smell-based alarm clock has a nagging bacon deficit. You can wake to the smell of hot chocolate, peppermint, and espresso, but inexplicably not bacon.
I want one of those. So yes.
Yeah, that's an amazing idea.
2016, techhive.com. That is legit. If you're keeping track at home, every one of us got 1 out of 2, and all of those were real. That's part of the joke.
I wonder how well that smell sensor would work. You just make it smell like smoke every morning. You just shoot out of bed.
Yeah, I don't know. You must buy pods to like refill the smells. I don't like a Glade plug-in, I guess.
Oh yeah, that makes sense. That sounds like a spitball idea. Somebody should have
It
pitched
does.
that on spitball.
That and the belt and the fork.
Well, it didn't make it to market in 2016, from what I can tell. But maybe you two could revive the Sensor Wake brand.
Wow. Who would have thought that there are so many spitball ideas actually out in the real world?
And we
Just crappy enough to be on this show.
All right, Leo, what is an idea you would love to create but just don't have time for?
Okay, I've got something really simple. I don't even know if we can get 5 or 10 minutes of discussion out of this because it's so no-brainer, but maybe there's somewhere we can go. When electronics have ports on them, your USB-C port, the female side, the lightning port, etc., and they start to get old, even USB-A ports, they sort of don't hold cables very well anymore. You put in a cable and it kind of falls out on its own or it flops around a little bit. You've got a wall outlet that's like 50 years old and it doesn't really hold the vacuum anymore. Instead of replacing the female side, I don't know why Monoprice, Amazon Basics, etc. don't sell a cable where the shielding, the housing around the connector itself is 2 to 5% bigger. If I had a USB port that's starting to go a little bit bad on my computer, why can't I get just a smidge oversized of a cable that can grab onto that loose port and get another year or 2 out of it? That's the whole pitch.
Of all the people in the world.
If I could get an extension cord that was 3 inches longer that I plugged my vacuum into, and then I plug that into the wall, but it's a little bit too big, maybe then it would hold on better.
Leo, I never would have guessed you want more variations of USBs or cables in general. I want a USB-C size 4, USB-C size 5.
It definitely needs to be like clearly labeled so it sits out of my collection, you know? It's like the warning sign or something. Yeah, there's all kinds of like aging devices that I think we could get a little bit more time out of. Everyone's had the experience of the port that has to be at just the right angle so that it connects right and it doesn't quite fit in just the right way. Like beef up the connector a little bit.
How would you sizing? Would you be like a variety of sizes and you just have to like plug it in, get like one of those packs that you can get where there's a bunch of different sizes?
Oh, yeah. Maybe there's like a 2, 3, 4, and 5% too big, all in the same backs. I don't know. Yeah, I feel like even if it was just like regular and jumbo, where it was 3% bigger on all sides, and that's it. You know what I mean?
USB.
That's all you need. Jumbo USB.
So just quite broken enough. You have to wait a little bit if it doesn't fit.
Yeah, otherwise it's going to go in the trash anyway. Laptops ports aren't working right or whatever. Like, you could probably get a little bit more life out of it if we had something that could just sort of fit snugly again, like it was brand new.
Wait, so this is what's happening inside your computer port, right? This isn't like the other way, right? It's not the USB cable itself.
I was picturing selling cables.
Okay.
It'd be the cheap way to go. They're just a little bit too big of a cable, and you just sort of like force it in there in a way where it fit more snugly, like it just came out of the box. But,
Okay, so I'm going to one-up you on here, Leo. You have your USB cable. You sell a super small sticker, like a shim, that you put on top of the USB itself. And so when you plug it in, it just has an extra 0.5 millimeter on there. And you just get like a reel of these stickers that you go through.
Could that work on something that's like 110 standard US NEMA outlet?
Maybe.
Is that, do I have to worry about my stickers catching on fire? I don't really know electricity that well.
But just fireproof stickers.
Maybe if it's 5-volt USB.
Fireproof
There you go.
stickers.
Make them out of something.
That's the
Yeah.
tagline for this one.
I don't know if we want to draw the customer's eye to, hey, this is a fire risk.
That's interesting, though, because you're right. If the resistance is too high in the sticker, it will catch fire much quicker than
All right, so this
the
is
cable itself.
and this is permanent, right? Like, why don't you just create like what is it? They have plumber's putty. You know the plumber's putty that you use to like
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
just like wrap it, like come up with the non-conductive, and you shove it in there. It dries, and then it never comes out. It's like you're done with it.
Yeah, I guess like even like electrical tape and you just kind
I'm
of
a
wrap
hot
it a little
glue-
bit, right?
Hot glue kind of guy.
That's
Oh,
it. We
geez.
you just
Hot glue is amazing for that. It's non-conductive. You can put on everything. It's forgiving. You can peel it off if you made a mistake, which you always do when you hot glue.
well, don't they have like a paste? Don't they have like a computer paste that's non-conductive that you can just glue it in there?
You guys, are you proposing something permanent? I don't want to attach a cable permanently to my computer when it's starting to get old.
It's already broken.
So it's got a little pigtail. Yeah, I guess. I just wanted a normal cable, but a little bigger so I could use it like it's a normal cable. Is that so much to ask?
Yeah, because you're just encourage it. You're keeping the problem. But no, I guess that makes sense. Then you can unplug it.
Maybe there's some way to make the reverse where it's kind of like a shim that sits permanently in the ports itself. Yeah. I don't really know the exact mechanism that grabs onto a standard outlet in my house is like on the inside of it. You would need lots of different connectors and cables to fit all the different style of port, I guess.
Dude, this makes me think of what are those mag chargers? Like, oh yeah, Mac has this. Like the MagSafe chargers.
MagSafe. Mhm.
Why don't you just have that?
Wait, what are they?
Like you plug it in.
MagSafe.
Yeah, you plug it into your port. I don't know if they do this for every other type of USB, but like maybe they just you shove it in there, right? And it like meshes in there and it's
That's the thing.
yeah. Leo, explain it. Yeah.
MacBooks have a charger that's a non-standard proprietary
Of course.
thing where the cable itself has a magnet in it and it like
Oh,
attaches
got
itself to the port. And then if you trip over the cable, it breaks away cleanly without dragging your laptop off the table.
It's a great
But,
concept.
I've seen what you're talking about, Russell. So like you can get a little tiny, it looks like those tiny like Logitech USB receiver kind of things, a little slim USB thing that lives in the port permanently. And then the cable that attaches with their own magnet like thing. Yeah. Yeah, you can get something like that too, I guess. Maybe if that was 2 to 5% too large.
Oh, is that real? That's a real thing. I thought it was just
That's a real thing, yeah. Yeah, you can get, MagSafe knockoff that's universally compatible. So it just kind of lives permanently in a USB-C port. And then you have to use their cable.
It still wiggles though, right? It's like a loose tooth,
Maybe.
You don't want a loose tooth. You got to have the jumbo. You got to put the jumbo in there, right?
I am not a CAD drawer, but I do feel like I could take a standard USB cable design and just drag it a little bit to be bigger and ship that off to some manufacturer in China to say, here's my blueprint. Here's my design. It's this, but a little big. Done. Lightning would be tricky because the pins, the way they're laid out, it'd have to be like a little bit too wide, but the pins would still have to line up in there. But most of the charging cables, I think they have like a housing around them, like USB-A, the old style rectangle USB ports. You just need to make that just like a little too big. Anyway, I don't want to belabor the point, but you get
I
it.
get it. Sounds like you've had this problem recently, Leo.
I see it a lot at work. Like someone will bring in a laptop from 5 years ago, 6, 7, 8 years ago that just nothing stays in right. And they've got duct tape holding cables to it and stuff.
It was
Like,
me.
Man, there's got to be a way to.
If you're using duct tape at that point, you might as well just replace whatever you're using.
Yeah. Some college students are creatively on a budget,
I'm wondering what else you can apply that to. I was thinking originally when you pitched the idea, like my vacuum, after it's like been a few years, the plug will come out of the wall way more regularly.
Totally.
And I was like, oh, maybe you have an extension cord out of the wall. I feel like there are other areas like that make sense, like especially the other end, right? So rather than it being the port, I have like a bunch of cables where just the part that goes into the MacBook or like into your phone or device is bent to all hell,
Sure.
I don't know. Maybe this does exist, but like just cutting that end off, and reapplying something new on there. Like, then I apply my jumbo cable, or like whatever, different fitting sizes. I convert it to USB-C or whatever. Like I just want to be able to wire strip and make that happen with, I don't know, in an easy way.
That's the trick, the easy part. You can do that, buy a new connector on the end and cut it and attach it and stuff. But sometimes it's hard to get it up to spec because certain like Thunderbolt cables have really specific requirements as to exactly what kind of length and stuff they're allowed to have. But most of the time, you can just cut it and put a new end on it. But oftentimes it's a few bucks for the connector and you might as well just buy a new cable at that point.
Russell, I'm thinking about your vacuum that the AC outlet comes out of the wall. I want to have some kind of device that you buy off the shelf and it's just like a little round sticker or like one of those materials that sticks to things, but you can still peel it away really easily and have that surrounding the plug. You can like attach that to a normal plug. And so when you put it in the wall, it just stays there much more than it would have based on the grip of just the AC outlet.
Command strip.
Yeah, but
all around
removable.
It's
not on the wall. It's on the cable. I guess you could do it to the wall. Why not? Just make your...
That's the
like
trick.
the cable, put the sticker around the socket and then have it, once it's plugged in, attached to the wall.
Actually, the socket's a good idea.
Ooh, Velcro.
Like the plate that goes on the wall. Oh, Velcro would be too.
Velcro's a good idea. I was picturing the blue tack, like stuff that you used to in kindergarten to put up your bulletin board, like papers on the wall and stuff. But yeah, Velcro makes a lot of sense. We should put that on every outlet. I love that.
I bet this could apply to USBs too. It's just a thinner version.
Do you think Apple would have conceded the industrial design of having Velcro on the bottom of every phone that they make? I don't know. It seems like something the EU would have to force them to do.
Too soon, man.
Apple and Velcro just sound like two opposite ends of the world. The universe,
Alex, what is something that you would love to see in the world, but that you don't have time to make?
Okay. So I don't know if you guys have this problem, but now that we are a way more globalized world, we have access to so much different kind of entertainment than we have previously, right? So I have been watching a whole lot more TV shows, listening to music, variety shows, all sorts of things, movies that are not in English. And while captions are great and translations are great, I can't remember how many times I have seen a show or watched a movie and then gone online and seen somebody whose native language is whatever language that the show was in and just told me that the captions are completely off. Just like,
really?
They're a literal direct translation often. But the thing that's missing that would make the show better is the context, right? Is the cultural context that is missing from the direct translation. So I thought there should be some app, some product, something where we can employ a bunch of people who are bilingual to do those translations, but with the cultural context in it.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Whoa.
That's fantastic. Do you know Duolingo's business model? I think about this constantly. It's so interesting. Duolingo will go to a web page and say, hey, web page person, we will translate your web page for you. They break the sentences up into pieces, and that's what they're quizzing people on. They mix it up with their own content, but they are crowdsourcing a bunch of people doing this translation. Yeah. It's one of the services. So like if I want to have my web page in 5 different languages, I go to Duolingo, I pay the money, and then they have like hundreds of people all get quizzed on what's this sentence mean? What's that sentence mean? And they do kind of what you're talking about there, but with it doesn't have the cultural context either, right? Unless you're able to get paragraphs together.
Right.
You could totally gamify it like they do.
That would be really interesting.
I would love that job. Hey, you need to watch movies all day, but you also have to be able to be fluent in Spanish and English and tell exactly what's happening here and make sure we're doing this right.
Yes.
Totally.
And I don't think it even needs to be limited to the language aspect, right? So there's cultural context missing generationally. So you've got a Gen Xer who wants to know what the millennials are talking about, or the Gen Zs, where they have all this other lingo and cultural context from just being who they are and when they were born.
Interesting. Generational translation, too. I don't speak another language fluently enough to do this, but if I was watching a show that had a lot of hip and trendy lingo, I could translate it to old man talk. That's fun.
Gen Z to boomer. That's interesting.
All these different people, all age ranges
Yeah.
across the world to do all of this translation, and not just like English to Korean or English to Japanese, like talking like Japanese to Spanish, all over, make it as global as we are currently.
Whoa.
Do you imagine this, the end product that all these users generate, is that something that's baked into Netflix itself as like another audio track to pick from? Or is this like a thing that lives alongside the media in your own little app that you make?
So I think it could be either way. I think if it is large enough, we could go to Netflix and say, I don't know how Netflix works really, but like you could go to Netflix and say, we have this product and we have these people who have done these translations for shows that they already have.
Yeah.
And then potentially like shows in the future. We have any shows that they're creating that are coming out, we could potentially have that coming out as they come out rather than waiting weeks or months to get the translations done. I know there's so many people that actually do this already for free. Like it's just part of what they like to do on the interwebs. Like there's people who, so I guess to give you like an example is in the K-pop world, I don't know if any of you are familiar with this.
Yeah.
They have lots of idols do live, like basically live shows where they just get on and talk to their fans. And that's all in their native language, usually in Korean. Sometimes they're bilingual, and so they have some English sections to it. But most of the time it's in Korean. And there are people who sit on Twitter, listen to the live, and live caption in live translate English.
Yeah.
And so if we can get that for like the live things, but also like if people are already doing that, they're doing that for free out of their goodwill because they love the groups that they're listening to. For other people who love those groups, why couldn't we pay them to do that?
Totally.
This is so
It's
cool.
the same thing that drives Wikipedia editors. It's just like the altruism of it. Yeah.
Do you guys remember like back in the day, I don't know where you created like this memory that I have of like watching old TV shows on like MTV or something, and they would have little pop-ups and speech bubbles as you're watching the show to give more context or like, you know, behind the scenes knowledge.
Like the old YouTube annotations?
Kind of. It was like literally speech bubbles they would put into like.
Really?
Yeah.
Yes. That happened on Disney a lot. It was like the like fun fact edition of whatever TV show or movie.
That's it.
And it would just be like at the bottom that they would just like pop up and be like, did you know so-and-so broke their foot while filming this scene?
Yes, Alex, exactly. Yes, I'm so glad. That's exactly what I'm imagining. But so you can like, let's say like that, take that concept. It exists. It's been validated. It's real. You throw that on your phone, right? And so you time it. Like, let's play, like you press play on your TV, you press play on your phone. Or if you're watching it on your browser, you put the Chrome extension on there.
Sure.
Boom.
Your
right?
phone is listening for the audio track and syncing itself up. Yeah.
There we go, right? And you can kind of be doing that same thing, and you can pick from different translators. I'm thinking more of like a crowdsource, like kind of model where you have, let's say, ads within the application, and the more people that view your version, let's say, of context, the more money you generate, right? So kind of like content creation for TV shows. So now if you got like some guy that loves Friends so much, and now you're watching Friends and you pull up your phone and you can be reading, you know, Friends guy 48's annotation notes while you're watching, but it's got all these historic context or like behind the scenes stuff, like links to interviews where they talk about this scene, and you're just like rewatching the shows that you're already watching, but to an nth degree. Like now you're just so immersed in Friends culture or something like that, or whatever show you're watching. Breaking Bad, Scott, like, you know, or something like that. We got all these different people that love the show so much and want more content to consume about it. It's so real. That's such a good idea. Guests come with the best ideas sometimes, guys. Like, holy cow.
You guys know the lyrics site genius.com? You can look up a song's lyrics or whatever, and then on the side they'll have user contributed, like, hey, here's what these two stanzas are talking about. This is a reference to another song that they wrote or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
Their original pitch as a startup back when they were trying to find their feet in startup world was, what if we had a layer of comments section on every web page on the internet? I thought that was such a cool idea. So like you would fire up genius.com and then load up another page in their iframe on their site, or you can have their Chrome extension or whatever. And then every single web page that you're looking at, you press the Genius button and then you get other people's contributed comments on that content. You're proposing something like that. I love that idea. And I was sad that it died. I feel like there is a world for like Wikipedia, but for something that's happening now that I'm part of, like real-time Wikipedia. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Are you going for both just live or live and new and old content, let's say?
Well, I think it would be kind of cool to be able to, I definitely would like older, like current content, like scripted content, but I think it would be kind of cool to run like simulcast of like having the translator there with you, sort of like a Discord.
Yeah.
Like live viewing where you can just like have these scheduled meetings with whoever, thousands of people that show up because they love your commentary or they love your translations. I think that would be awesome. A cool option as well. Brings us together, entertainment, right?
Yeah.
1,000%. I one of the best parts of Reddit is like I just watched an episode of a show that I loved and now I'm going to go read everyone talking about it, or
that's
movie that I just saw, right?
Mm-hmm.
You could do that, but in real time. That's amazing. I love that idea.
I know that feeling. It's rare. I guess for me, it's like,
sure.
I feel like there's so many that's the entertainment concept, right? But I feel like there's so many other concepts like corporate training videos or safety videos that like, I mean, if you want to make this a full-time job, there's probably like, hundreds of millions of corporate people that are like, oh, do I have to go into Google Translate and do this? Like, what plugin can I plug into WordPress to make this my site Russian or something, right? Translated. Like, you can just outsource that with the network that's, the bilingual network, right?
Yeah, we've strayed away a little bit from your original translation between languages and cultural context pitch, which I loved. Sorry, I didn't mean to turn it into like, we should all have a comment section on Friends.
Sorry, yeah.
I think it's all linked together though, right? So it's everyone enjoying, if you stick to the entertainment side of it, is people across the world enjoying the same content, right?
Yeah.
So regardless of what language you speak or what culture you understand, right? We're going to get with this product or with this translation, we're going to get someone in the US who is now understanding like, oh, this is why they did this in the specific scene of this K-drama I'm watching. And the same, like you'll get someone from Russia that will now understand that as well. Not just like the translated to their language, but also that understanding.
Ooh, this reminds me, one of our guests, Sam Zoe, a long time ago when we were living together, he was saying how I guess like a lot of Mandarin, there's a lot of idioms, right, that are spoken, and same with English, right? So like to do a direct translation of an idiom is kind of doesn't make sense.
Oh. Yeah.
Yes.
So like that's kind of what you're like when somebody says, I never forget this, don't be the lone soldier in the army or something, is what I was talking to Sam about this. And it's a whole context. There's a whole story behind that lone soldier that everybody knows the story of, right? Kind of like an idiom. How are you supposed to translate that into English, right? You create like...
That would be perfect for your little blurb up there. Yeah. I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's literal words that can't be translated into other languages. So how do you translate a feeling, right? And get it to be any semblance of what they're shooting for within the scene of whatever show you're watching or whatever documentary you're watching, right?
Yeah.
I'm just curious, Alex, was there a specific example that created this idea with you?
No, I just watch a lot of K-dramas. I guess the what it stems from is there's been a couple K-dramas I've watched recently where I've like overall understood the plot and I've enjoyed the characters, but I've left like there's some nuances of the story where I feel like I should have understood something a little bit better.
Sure.
And like sometimes feeling a little bit stupid for not catching on to those nuances. And I don't think it's because I don't understand the story. I think it's because it's the language barrier or the culture context barrier. And if we can figure out a way to break those down, I think that there's a better discussion on different cultures with people across the world. And that I think ultimately, if we're like looking on a global scale, it's not just entertainment wise, that helps us understand people differently and better.
I'm willing to bet the top 100 potential fans of Latin America soap operas aren't even aware of it. Right?
Right.
Totally. There's so much like stuff that I'm sure people would love that they just have never had exposure to that this could totally link them to.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think it's a cool way to like learn too. I don't know. That'd just be kind of cool to be plugged into the culture and understand that stuff at some point, you know?
Mm-hmm. And I think that like a lot of people use watching other language shows as a way to learn the language too. So if you can see or understand how people are phrasing the language, because I think there's a very different way of like Duolingo teaches you vocabulary and sentence structure, but doesn't always teach you like what an actual conversation sounds like, right? You sound very stilted, like you've been out of a book. Just like in school when we were learning French or Spanish, that was not like actual French or Spanish in the way that Spanish or French people would speak. It's just very textbook, right? U.S. American textbook. Yeah. So using stories or film or music a little less because you play with like the phrasings and lyrics a lot. But the other places you're getting an idea of what people actually sound like, how they actually have conversations. And then adding that cultural context to it helps you understand why they're saying things that way, right?
Oh, man, yes.
That's so cool.
I honestly love this for just English to English. What I mean by that...
That's what I'm talking
I was...
too.
Yeah, like, I remember Music Genius. I think, Leo, if you...
Music Genius.
It would give you facts.
Oh, no, that's the company. Yeah, that's Genius.
Okay,
yeah.
It's the same company then.
Them.
As you're listening to the song, it gives you context clues to why, like, when you listen to rap, it's like, and have Music Genius up, it's so much better because you start to understand that there's like, oh, he dropped that lyric to actually make fun of Eminem.
The nuances of the lyrics.
The original name for the company was Rap Genius. Yeah.
Rap Genius. Okay.
Yeah.
That was awesome. Like you just realized
they were a Y Combinator company. Yeah.
There's so much behind every bar that the rappers use, and you're just like, I am so disconnected from it. But also, it's like how much deeper. Like rap is already really deep when you read the lyrics. Mm-hmm. You find out how much more story there is behind it. It's so much better. Like songs like your favorite song becomes even more your favorite. It's just. I don't know. Rap Genius. That's it. English to English.
Oh, yeah. All right. So, Scott, do you have an idea for us today?
I do. I have an idea that I've been thinking about all week, and it is a survey slot machine. So, I've been working with a bunch of students who have been trying to collect data in their university cafeteria. And we found that it is quite hard to corner people or just to get people to fill out surveys in general. I'm sure a lot of people know this without some form of incentive, whether that's I will pay you for your time or I will give you a gift card or I'll give you a king size Snickers or something. We had barely any budget to collect a lot of data for this. And so that got us thinking, what if instead of giving out something to every person who did it, there is like you have online forms where you could win a gift card or something, but I want this in person right in front of them. So when all these students are exiting the cafeteria and we need to ask them specifics about what they ate today, because that's the data we're trying to collect, I want like an iPad that has all the information of the survey and they fill it out as they're walking by. And there is a 5% chance that a $50 bill will pop out of it or something. And we'll just keep messing with the numbers on there until we find the right balance of prize to chance to win. And that's it. It's essentially an iPad taped to an ATM that sometimes spits out money.
Oh, man.
They're like a roulette.
Exactly. Yeah, I don't know how legal this would be in terms of gambling law, but...
Interesting, yeah. Who's your customer for that? Are you trying to sell this to people in your predicament?
I feel like this could be a good way to collect data at random points from real people Like you could put one of these on a street corner or something and be like, hey, answer these 4 questions and you might win $50 or whatever.
Just like rent the slot machine experience, the giant box. Do you know what I mean? With the lever, like bring them out. Like go to the store, rent one, and you're just like, listen, if you hit the jackpot, here's our prize pool, right? You just create the sounds, the lights, the whole experience. And dude, I don't even care if I win or lose. I just want to pull a freaking lever at the cost of what? 5 questions?
Here's the thing, though. You wouldn't have to add in more money into there. You could just answer more questions and get more credits to pull that giant lever arm.
Oh, damn.
If you really just love the experience, maybe to get around gambling law, it doesn't actually ever win. It's just about the experience.
That's...
Simulate a real casino
I had
for
so much
4
fun.
easy questions.
Yeah, right. Gambling Simulator 2024.
Do you know how many slot machine apps there are on like the App Store? Like,
Really?
This is a real thing. People spend hours of their life on their iPads. Just
Yikes.
I mean, you could take a picture if you win jackpot on the slot machine. You know, like I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay, here's another thing, Scott. Hypothetically, you could turn this into a global thing. All right, let's get real big with this. So,
It's a lot of iPads.
you have it's the same app, right? And everybody, you throw like let's say $100 into the app. The app allows you to run the surveys, but there is a national prize pool that you could win if you do this survey. So you have your local survey wins, but then because you're using this app, there is a chance that you could win like the $50,000 prize pool that all the people across all the nations that are doing surveys on this app are able to win.
Got it. So you got a 10% chance of winning $5 or something, but you have a 0.0001% chance of winning 50,000 each time you play this.
And now you do like you generate surveys now, let's say, and people are now generate like kind of like Google. What is it? Google does this. The
Opinion
Google
rewards.
Opinion rewards, right? And Google pays you every single time you do it. They could just turn it into a gamble, right?
I think people like gambling.
It's not gambling. It's just survey for a potential win, right? I don't know how legal that is. If you're not actually spending money.
What if when you had that, every time you took a survey, you like had a pool and then you could choose to pay out or reinvest it into like potentially like gaining more. So like, let's say you do the surveys and every time you get like 50 cents or $1, like something really small, right? But you can choose to pay it out or reinvest it. And then the next survey you take, you get double that. So $1 or $2. And then as you double it out, and then you have the opportunity to do that global scale as well, where they take, I don't know, I guess I don't know if maybe you should do like double it and then add that to the pool of the grand prize. So you're still getting like every time you get $1, but every time you double it, you put that dollar into the grand prize, into like the grand prize, and then that cashes out. Or you can just pool your money and cash it out.
That's cool.
Yeah, so let me add a little context to this on here. I always love hardware solutions for everything. So this is why I'm picturing this as a physical product and not an app, although you could probably get a lot more people doing that. Okay, so a little context for this. We have a bunch of students and we're trying to optimize a cafeteria flow. In order to do that, we need to figure out the popularity of every food that's served in this cafeteria. And we learned that we can't just ask people which one they like the best because they change their minds all the time. And the best way to get hard data for this is to corner them either while they're eating or right after the meal and say, what did you eat today? And that's the only thing I need to know. What did you eat today? And that is the truest data of what they like the best because it's what they chose. However, it's hard to capture the people or get them willing to do that. And so I want to set up this iPad right outside of the entrances and exits of this building and have them just like, they don't log in, they don't do anything. They just like hit a button and hit enter. They hit a picture of their food and hit enter.
So here's what you do. You set it up as a metal detector that you have to walk through to exit. And so in order for them to keep the building, they have to do your survey.
Don't even reward them. Just keep them in the building until they answer the question, what did you eat?
Exactly.
Here's what I was going to say. You ever been
Yeah.
in an airport bathroom and they have the little smiley face, frowny
Yeah.
face? Neutral?
Mhm.
You want that, but like chicken nugget, salad bar,
Yes.
pasta, French fries. Yeah.
Here's my question for you, though. Have you ever hit that button in the bathroom?
Yeah.
No. Have you?
Yeah, I have.
Alex has.
To say things were bad or good?
Usually only good.
She hits the
That's
middle
great.
option each time. No, but
Huh.
I just want a way to incentivize them to hit that button, even if it is the chicken nugget, hit the green button or
That-
something. And then there's a 10% chance a $5 bill will pop out or a Snickers or something. I think if you could train the students that could happen, they would use it every day.
A little gashapon, like the quarter machines that have a little capsule with a Snickers in it or some M&Ms or something. That's fun. I like that.
I went weird with this and I was like, what if they automatically got a free spin and as they're walking, they're like, oh, my spin won. To claim your prize, fill out this survey, kind of go the other route. Like create the experience. This sounds like one of the scammy like car salesman
Yeah.
Yeah, you only get
Mhm.
winners then.
right. You're always giving out a win and then but it doesn't it's too icky for me.
In order to get the thing we said you is free, you have to give us all of your information.
Yeah.
Yeah. I want to. The hope was to make it as so you don't have to log in. You don't have to do anything. But maybe people don't want survey data without all the metrics.
Is that a requirement for like your survey? Or is that like
For my situation, no. We just needed to know some basic information. We don't care who ordered it or why they ordered it, just what they had that day.
I think the trick would be to get them to start doing it, right? So if you have the issue where no one's doing it, but then you implement this iPad or this reward system, you still have to get them to do it.
Pick the most popular person on campus and rig it so that they win the jackpot. They'll tell everyone.
Oh,
Then,
that's just marketing. That's just good marketing.
Viral.
true.
I was thinking you make a bunch of these little kiosk stations and you manufacture them and then rent them out to companies who want to collect data at certain points. All our employees, we need to get their opinion on this, and they just don't do email surveys, or people coming out of a gym or something, or grocery store, whatever. Rent it to corporations.
It really is the bathroom smiley face, frowny face thing, but flexible enough to be any sort of like multiple choice question that you want to get.
With
So
incentive.
you know those machines at
Yeah.
Sam's Club where you can get those free samples, but you have to scan your membership card?
Yeah. Free ass.
What if we did that, except
Ooh.
like I don't know if what we would use for like the scan. If it's like maybe if it's at like a school, they could scan their ID because they already have one, right?
Yes.
And that way it would grab all
That's
the
easy for that.
information already,
Yeah.
and then also
Yes.
for like button you have them press on the screen, and then it'll give them the little treat or the sticker or the whatever, right?
That definitely limits it to like the schools or
Oh.
corporations with IDs, but I think that's fantastic because that's the perfect application for this.
You need to figure out wherever the heck they're assembling those things in some factory and just get your own white labeled version of the free ask vending machine that you can put your own software on. That's great.
Oh yeah.
That's incredible. That's an incredible idea. Like that's a vending machine replacement.
Mm-hmm.
You imagine that's a whole spitball. I'm gonna save that. Like
Next week.
Could you take a literal vending machine, only instead of the keypad to select a thing, you have your question and then it dispenses a random thing from there? Would
There's
that be fun?
100%. Yes, Alex.
There's some $5 bills in some of them, but there's also like a little fun size
A
Snickers.
bunch of empty ones. There's like an iPad in one corner of
yeah,
it. Or like-
sure.
yeah.
One of them spins. Yeah.
Genius. That is such a good
That's
idea.
easy
like-
hardware right there.
And you just fill it with a bunch of Oreos.
There's so many vending machines on like Facebook Marketplace that you can grab for cheap.
Right. You add your own little Arduino to it or something.
You need to have like NeoPixel LEDs or something so they're all lighting up randomly and then it slowly settles on one.
Absolutely. And I love some of them are empty. Some of them are like crap. Some of them are $5. You've got the one that's like the Nintendo Switch or whatever.
I mean, like, think about this, like at theme parks, right? Like get a free like button if you answer questions. Like you guys play Roller Coaster Tycoon.
Oh.
Like there's so many reasons why you would want to do a survey. And I feel like the worst part about the survey is not the survey itself, but it's the person that you have to deal with on the other side of it, right? So by making it a robot, you remove that whole human element where, hi, I'm Scott, I'm Russell, and we're Spitball. We want to survey your Spitball experience. It's just like,
Sure.
Is that what we sound like?
here's a quiet form. We're gonna here's here's a package of Oreos or some goldfish if you just fill out these 5 questions. Boom, drops from vending machines. I'm on with my day. Like, you remove, it's like, okay, and then you go one step further. You put this in break rooms,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Oh,
Like,
people who are already on the hunt for a snack.
right, and it's just you put it in like giant corporate offices or something.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, you gotta be careful with the whole corporate just privacy stuff. But like, every day, like that machine's gonna be empty every day because people are just gonna fill out surveys and get free snacks. Like,
Mhm.
I think like a can of Coke, what does that actually cost? 25 cents. Like, if you're selling survey information at like,
That's true.
that trade-off, like, I don't know, like, people would do that every day. You'd have to scan, and you could scan your ID badge or whatever too to pull that information. There's just,
That's a good point. Like, the snacks or the prizes are truly cheap enough that you don't even have to randomize it or have empty things. You could just pick whatever you want from our vending machine. Just answer these questions and it's yours.
Yeah, it depends on how valuable the data is. If you're looking for something that's like, I'm on my way out, I'm on my way to class, I just ate at the college cafeteria, and I'm going to tell you that I'm getting chicken nuggets. I don't know if we did to reward that, but
That's the whole reason why we did the randomization for large prizes. But yeah. Mm-hmm.
right. But if you're like talking, the 10 question survey about your political whatever, then yeah. The trick is stopping people in like theme parks and stuff from just taking it over and over and over and over again.
yeah, you'd have to have like an ID badge.
You got to have some kind of unique identity. You scan your magic band at Disney or whatever.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, part of the scanning, right, is so that you can only do it once per survey. When they change over the survey to a different one, then you can go again.
I think I'd be the guy that would do it every day though. I just to do it because I get free stuff.
Russell, you're last to go this week. What do you got for us?
All right. So I recently have been on a road trip. I drove to Florida by myself, sent my wife and kid on the plane, and it's great, but geez, is it boring to sit and look at a windshield for 21 hours.
Oh my God.
And you think to yourself, what am I doing with my life and all that stuff? A little bit of, I'd rather do something else. Like, I would love driving games while I'm driving. And I think they already have like heads up display stuff on your windshield so you can see your GPS, your speedometer, or whatever. Put a control stick on my freaking steering wheel and allow me to play some game that keeps me in the lines, keeps me aware of my surroundings. Like, I have to look at each mirror to like find Waldo, right? Oh, Waldo's in mirror 3. It gives me some sort of game while I'm driving, and it does a lot of things, right? I feel like there's a lot of safety elements to it. It sounds like this.
There are a lot of safety elements to it, Russell, for sure. There are a lot of safety elements.
I mean, I think, I don't know. There's probably some statistics out there about, sleepy driving, late night driving, or when you're doing road trips, like all that stuff. I think that you can create an alert driving experience through heads up displays, through entertainment, through that, some sort of entertainment, whether it's games or something else.
Okay.
Through these, like a heads up display. So
I got 2 thoughts on this.
That's it. Okay.
One, I think it was you that used to take your phone and put it like face up on the dash, and then you would have your. Should I not say this?
No, it's fine. No, I'm glad.
All right. Yes.
You know what I'm talking about.
You would put your GPS on it, or like Google Maps or Waze or something, and it would just like reflect up onto the screen, and then you could actually see it. And while you're moving forward.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he just did it by putting his phone up there.
Heads up displays. Totally.
one, I'm picturing something like that, but two, could you also do a game where it's strictly audio, so we're not antagonizing a bunch of politicians?
Yeah.
Like Zombies Run. You remember that? It's Run Zombies Run or just Zombies Run that was entirely audio, and it was like an exercise app. So you put in your headphones and you go running, and then you run for a little while and say, "Oh God, the zombies are coming!" Roar! And you'd have to like try to move via GPS around where they were, listening to, "Oh man, they're getting louder if I go this way. Oh, I got to go the other way," kind of thing.
Go faster.
It's like an augmented reality thing. You could do that kind of thing for driving. So like I'm playing a game that's, go past that cop. Right. No, there's got to be like a game that we could build that is, I love it. Audio style, even where you're talking back at it. You're having a conversation or something with the game.
Talking back is good. Like, hey, what song is this? And you got to kind of verbally say, oh, you're playing a clip from this guy, or here's a clip from a famous movie or show that we know that you like because we have all of your info.
So like an Alexa for your car that does song quiz on repeat for 21 hours.
Sounds like a nightmare.
Yes.
In this, you know how Wordle became a thing, and then there's like a sea of knockoff similar idea Wordle type things. One of them, a coworker, actually Sander, who was on the episode 13, I think it was, he turned me on recently to a Wordle, but it is 5 guesses as to what song this is, and it starts with just drums, and then drums and bass, and then drums and bass. Right? Yeah, you could do that kind of game where name that tune type thing. Audio, I like that.
Throw in audio clips of like scenes from movies or TV shows and try to guess.
Yeah.
If it's like something well versed in, like try to guess this episode from the show.
Yeah.
Audio games while driving.
Yeah.
And as long as you, what was the quiz game we used to do?
HQ.
Yeah. You just need like a super excited host or something that keeps you entertained while you're going through, and it feels like they're in the car with you the whole way, but it's just a robot going through the motions.
You fire up the large language model, and now you've got personalized your favorite television show host trivia.
Whoa, your own little trivia game there.
You know, I thought about gamifying traffic, and I think this is part of it. Like, if you're stuck in the same traffic jam, how cool would it be to just like run a little game show while everybody's stuck in traffic? Like,
we talked about it a little bit with the CB radio one, but getting something that's like nearby to you. I like that.
That'd be interesting. Also, I thought about, you know how Waze and Google, they do a lot of like letting you know about incidents on the side of the road or cops. Like, I think there's like some play there, but then again, I feel like going back to like what Scott, you were saying, like I put my phone, like that was what inspired this idea a little bit, is like I would put my phone in the dash and watch Netflix in mirrored fashion while I'd be driving. I mean, it's
allegedly. Oh, no. You didn't actually do this.
Allegedly, yes.
Oh no.
I mean,
man,
after 12 hours of looking at the same white line over and over again, you're like, I mean, I'm listening to a Netflix show right now. Might as well just throw it on my windshield and see it in mirror. And honestly, I felt, I mean, I'm sure there's probably data out there. I felt like I was more alert as a result, because it's just like, I don't know.
Because you're so scared you're going to crash because you're watching Netflix.
No, you're just like actually like not drifting. I don't know. Have you heard of like, I feel like I'm in highway hypnosis a lot, where you're just like looking at the same line over and over again. Like, I just feel like I feel like if I'm not being entertained, I end up driving faster and take out my boredom on the road. Shit, maybe this is, I'm gonna like, then I end up speeding. Then I end up like, all right, I want to pass this car because it's so slow. I just am like constantly trying to accelerate and hit my destination or my journey, rather than just enjoying.
Sure.
I'll just cruise control a little bit. And I feel like there's something with the heads-up display. What made GPS allowed to be on that heads-up display? Can't I read a book? I don't know. Or teleprompt. I don't know. Maybe not a full book, but like, can I do something? And it doesn't have to be tiny in the corner. It could be like right on the lines of where, I don't know, like right on the lines of where I'm driving, so that I'm actually like seeing a light or a car. I don't know. Is it that crazy? Is this that insane? I think.
I haven't driven 24 hours to Florida enough, I guess.
The movies and book thing, like, where's Waldo? I feel like Americans, or the average person's got to be too stupid to handle that, right?
I guess you're right. I guess I don't think of the lowest denominator, right? The lowest common.
You got to imagine every other person on the road doing this, reading their book while driving next to you. It's scary.
Okay. So
The key would be to keep yourself engaged. So if you are having a Taylor Swift marathon where you are performing her concert while singing along with her, like, you're going to be way more engaged and alert in that 21 hours than if you were like listening to an audiobook that has a really nice, slow paced reader who just kind of lulling you to sleep. So maybe it's not necessarily about the visual aspect. Maybe it's more about the interactive aspect.
That's a really good point. I like the Taylor Swift thing too. Like, you're driving on your own. You know this entire album verbatim. You are the star of the show, and it's just putting on background clapping or other concert noises or something, and you're just going through different songs, and it keeps up with you with however you're doing it.
Mm-hmm.
That's fun. AI responsive karaoke.
Yeah,
Like in Guitar Hero when you'd play really well and the crowd would start
Exactly.
getting more excited. Yeah.
yeah. Okay, I'm gonna go back to visual real quick. So what if?
Yeah, do it.
We keep trying to steer it away to audio, but nope.
So all right. Imagine this. Instead of it being a phone on your freaking windshield, it's a full AR experience, okay? Now, hear me out. You actually, it like detects like where cars are. So like, let's say this is full on safety, only for safety experience. So now it's windshield 2.0. You're looking at your windshield and you actually see like car approaching on your right. You have something in your blind spot to your left. Like, you have a full heads up display of driving experience, all safety, because we're a little hung up on the fun part, but it makes sense. Like, it's like all your blind spot detectors, how far away you are from the car in front of you. Let's say there's a traffic report. All that stuff is around your vision. And also you got some lines, let's say visual lines that are computer generated to help in, like, when you're driving in snow or when the lines aren't there very well or whatever else stuff. You just have your full heads up display in front of you as well.
Detects a pothole and turns it into a big boiling pot of lava that you got to steer around.
Now we're talking, right? Throw some entertainment in there.
Clever.
So like that might be, because like if you think about how dangerous the GPS is, the giant ass screen on your car nowadays that you have to turn right to look at, you move it up in front of you and you create a full blind spot avoidant experience so that you as the driver are, maybe that's how I should have pitched it the first time, are fully aware of your surroundings.
So you're talking about creating like a augmented layer over what you're actually already seeing.
Yes.
Versus like
Now I am.
Yeah.
Netflix in the center. Blindly driving while watching a Netflix. With maybe
Yes,
let's talk
yeah.
about the sidelines. Okay. That's a much better.
The bad news is the NTSB won't let Tesla put like a camera instead of a rear view mirror. So I doubt they're going to be cool with, fully enclosing you in a 360 augmented experience. But maybe in like 50
What if
years.
it was a visual projector?
When
like on, no, I guess, damn. So it is just a regulation.
you have to sell the product as an aftermarket kit that people can do whatever they want with.
Yes.
And if they choose to put it in their car, then so be it.
That's what I'm selling. That's it. It's an aftermarket. It's not a manufacturer thing.
You put a small sticker on it that says, do not put this in your car, and you're legally absolved of all problem.
It just happens. You project it on the glass and it happens to connect to your, it should help people, right? If you do it right, like there's so many elements to the car that you're driving that are like blind spot indicators and all that stuff. Like, why do I have to turn my head? The damn government is preventing us from being safe.
All right, here he goes.
How dare they?
They're keeping me from watching Netflix on my way to Florida.
You see, then the next Spitball episode, when that goes live, is we should hack one of those devices to put Netflix on it.
Dear listener, we hope that you enjoyed the Spitball experience while driving yourself down to Florida or wherever it is that you are driving right now. thank you for listening. We hope you enjoyed yourself. And thank you, Alex, for being here. This was such a lovely time.
Yes.
Thanks for having me.
Oh, it's so great. Our website is spitball.show. There you can find links to our YouTube channel, other social media. Email us feedback, comments, ideas, please, anything. We'd love to hear from you. We are podcast@spitball.show. That's also how you can follow us on the Fediverse, such as Mastodon. We're just podcast@spitball.show. And our subreddit is r/spitball show. Our intro outro music is Swingers by Bonkers Beat Club. Please, you're listening in a car. Hopefully you pull over first. Hit us with that 5-star review. Apple Podcasts, Pocket Cast, whatever it is that you're listening on, Spotify. If you could subscribe and, more importantly, leave us some kind of review. We'd love to hear from you anywhere that you get your podcasts. New episodes coming out in 2 weeks. We will see you then.
Or, if you're using your heads-up display, you can blink twice and subscribe, blink 3 times to 5-star,
Look to the left mirror, then the right mirror. Right behind Waldo, that's where the rad button is.